Thank you for your remarks. At this time, the microphone in front of the stage is available to anyone who wishes to ask a question about the candidate's views on pertinent issues. While all students are encouraged to participate, that participation is based on a first-come, first-served basis. Candidates will have 1 minute to respond to each question in accordance with a predetermined order.
What's your opinion on transgender athletes participating in sports in the division of the gender that they identify with?
So today, I don't know, you probably can't see, but the pin I'm wearing says equal. And I was watching on TV on John Lewis's funeral, one of the speakers on there had an equal pin on it. And I thought, yeah, that's what I want to represent. I want people to know that I have for equal rights for all people. And so yes, I have no problems with transgender athletes competing in sports. I know that it's very controversial because if you have somebody of the opposite gender and you're saying, oh, well, will I be able to have an equal be able to compete with them if they're stronger or biologically. But I think that the rules that I've seen for transgender competing in athletics eliminate some of those things. So I have no problems with people who are transgender competing in athletics in high school.
Two-part answer to your question. The first is, I agree with Dr. Page, transgender athletes should be allowed to compete. However, I don't think that someone who's born a biological male should be competing in high school against biological females. I don't. I think it's unfair. I think there is an absolute physical and biological advantage that is going to disenfranchise the female athlete who's biologically female. I don't like it at all. I have a daughter who plays tennis here. She's playing today against Moses Brown in playoffs. If she were to compete against a biological male, she would be at a significant disadvantage. So I don't think it's fair to the biological females to allow her. She should be allowed to compete and play, absolutely. But against biological females, if you're a biological male, no, I don't agree.
My question is, what are your plans to increase good mental health in schools?
I think the school department's done a very good job in making mental health issues awareness and a focal point. And I would support, and this is really school committee type of stuff, but I would support the school committee in their efforts to do that. So if that means, I know we have extra counselors at the school, those should be funded, absolutely, and encouraged. And let the students know that these services are available if you want them, if you need them. Also, make better aware the parents that these services are available to the students, right? There's a student code, a student handbook. Keep enforcing that. If someone has an issue, they're not to be mocked, they're not to be ridiculed. If someone say, hey, look, if you're depressed, or if you're thinking of doing things that maybe you shouldn't do, just to you or someone else, seek the help, no problem. That's what it's there for, so I would encourage that. I think it's good that we're doing it. It should be encouraged.
Well, as Chris said, this really is a school committee issue. Part of the town council's role is to make sure that we fund the school committee. And so I would make sure that we would fund the school committee in order that they would provide those sort of counselors and that help here at school. Because I would urge anybody who has any sort of issues to make sure that you talk to someone, make sure that you reach out. And if those services are available, and they should be available here at our school, because I know we're seeing more and more issues, and not only here, but also at URI.
Many of us have grown up around here, and we've seen a lot of small businesses come and go in downtown Wickford. My question is, do you have any plans to support local businesses?
Yes, the town council was very excited about any new businesses that come. I personally usually go with to many of the grand openings with the Chamber of Commerce sponsors. Part of what the town council has done is we also encourage existing businesses that if they, especially those along Post Road, the town has a grant that if you fix up your business and it's within a certain parameter, that will reimburse you for part of your fixing up. So your question was, do we encourage small businesses starting up? You bet. We're excited. We get on our agenda almost every meeting, somebody asking for different licenses, and as long as they're within our town council rules, the town charter rules, we're very excited to have new businesses. So yeah, we really are encouraging folks.
And the town council should continue to support those businesses, not only in Wickford, where there's a lot of empty shop windows, and that's unfortunate, because 25 years ago, those were all full. Now you have 5 or 6 vacancies. Shouldn't be like that. So reduce the regulation on those businesses, make them more competitive. Additionally, it's not just Wickford, it's not just the downtown area. Yeah, it's beautiful, it's on the harbor, it's great, there's some places to eat, very picturesque. I love it. You've got to work on Route 1. It's not so pretty, right? There's not so many great places to eat. It's not really a walking type of place. What are we going to do with it? Right? It's been almost 50 years since the Navy left. I think it has been 50 years. You've got to revitalize Route 1. It's very central. A lot more people are living on the north end of town, right? Reynolds Farm, great development. People love it, and they should. Great place to live. We need to increase development in that part of town so they can support the north end, that Route 1 corridor, right, between East Greenwich and Wickford, and get that revitalized, right? Make it a better looking place, make it a better functioning place, and those people who live on the north end of town, they can work those service industries and those retail industries on Route 1. So there's an economic driver for employment on that end of Route 1, as well as keeping commerce going in North Kingstown. Let's get some people from East Greenwich coming down and shopping here. Instead of everyone going north to Bald Hill Road, to the malls, maybe we keep some of those dollars here in North Kingstown. That helps the tax base. That reduces the tax burden on all the people that own homes in the town and getting the right card. Yes, I would encourage that as well.
Hi, so my question is about your guys' stance on increased substance use as well as e-cigarettes among youth within the town.
Could you repeat that?
I just wanted to hear about your stance on increased substance use as well as e-cigarettes, especially among younger people within the town.
I'm definitely against it. The question is, how do you prevent it? Whatever the policies are at school about substance abuse and vaping, I know that if you're participating in sports, you come to meetings regarding substance abuse. Those are very helpful, they're very good, and they should continue. Also, you sign a pledge that if you are caught using illegal substances, contraband substances, on campus, off campus, right? You could be in New York on vacation, you could be in Florida, if you get caught using it in school, finds out, you're no longer eligible for those sports. I support that. I know it's a pretty tough rule, but it's your health, it's your body. We want to keep you safe, we want to keep you healthy. The other thing is the vaping. That's a problem. Look, it's bad for your lungs, it's not smoke, but the damage is being done, especially with all the flu going around in school. So keep yourselves healthy, but yes, I would support.
Allowed to be smoking or drinking, and you're all underage. So it is this sort of thing of I would be in favor of keeping those policies. I don't see any sort of health benefit. I only see the health risk. And so I can't imagine why, as a school, that we should support anything that risks your health.
My question is, do you think Ms. Breimer was justified in making the false and disparaging comments about the litter boxes?
So I was down in Pennsylvania in August, and a friend of mine asked me about this rumor, and I kind of looked at her like, wow, this sounds preposterous. It's unfortunate that we have rumors going around that people would believe that sort of thing. No, I don't support that.
If I were to be a town councilor, I would act on things that I could verify. So if the situation were that someone had told me there were litter boxes, I would believe it if I saw it, if I could verify it. If I can't, I'm not going to. So I'm not going to get into conjecture about what someone told me if I don't know it's true. So I'm gonna say no, I wouldn't have done that. I can't speak for her. For myself, I can say no, I wouldn't run with that when I don't know it to be true.
Good morning. My question is there any plans to make North Kingstown more walkable or better public transportation?
Artur, thank you for your question. By the way, good luck tomorrow night against Central. The question of transportation in North Kingstown, is it a walking town? No, it really isn't. Wickford is walkable. Certainly people come and walk and they come to shops. That's a pretty small area. I don't think you're going to be walking between the state police barracks on Route 1 and Wickford very often. Most people don't. I travel that route a lot. You don't see a lot of walkers. I don't know that making it walkable is going to make people walk it. So I don't think that's probably a good use of taxpayer dollars. The south end of town, really, it's Boston Neck Road is the main artery. That's a state highway. People travel 45, 50 miles an hour. I don't know if you want to make it walkable by putting in sidewalks. I don't think that's a good use. So Wickford's probably going to stay walkable in the business district, but I don't see making the rest of the town walkable very viable. Also, public transportation, most people are driving in Wickford, so I don't see a change in increasing public transportation in North Kingston. It's not something that's going to be a focus if I'm a town council. Thanks for the question. Go get them.
So one of the things that we've decided to do with our money from the pandemic is we've decided to use it to put more sidewalks in along Post Road and along West Main Street. Now, the state has long said that they would fund that themselves, and so finally they've come to the part where they've said, yes, we will fund that. So if we then take some of that money and use it to look at other places in town that have sidewalks. I know that Anna-Pawtucket Road is an awful place, and those people who live along that area, in that area have to walk because you're within a mile of the school. That doesn't quite answer your question about buses and that sort of thing, and that's because that's more of a state issue in that we don't, we can request bus routes and that sort of thing. One of the things we have asked the state to help us get is a bus that goes from Wickford Junction to the train station down to town, so that especially during the holidays and during the Arts Festival, that we could have transportation back and forth there. As to the bigger problem, no, I don't have a plan, and that is a state thing that I can make suggestions, but I don't have any control.
I was wondering what your plans for the water ban were in Kingstown.
Sorry, the water.
The water ban.
Oh, okay. So our water ban comes because we have drought. Obviously, we've had a lot of rain lately, so we don't really have to have the same water ban we have. It goes on to when we get through a summer where we haven't had a lot of rain, and we're just looking at making sure that we don't deplete our aquifers into a large amount. So the good thing is we have a really good person in town, Tim Cranston, who is very much on board of keeping a constant monitoring of our water, and that he is on top of those things. And so the only time that we have water bans is when we're looking ahead and we're saying, all right, this could become a crisis, but we've never gotten to that point that it has been a crisis. And it's because of our people who work in the town who make sure they plan ahead, they look at what we need, and they are excellent people in their jobs. So I don't anticipate having any sort of a water ban over the next couple of months, because we'll be fine. We'll have to wait until next month.
With regard to the water usage in town, the water department, as Ms. Page said, does an excellent job. We haven't had an issue with water quality in decades. We have the benefit of having somewhat rare around the underground aquifers, caves, basically water pulls up and collects. We actually have a water surplus. Usually, we actually sell water to Jamestown, and that's fine. But no, whether or not there's going to be a ban, that's going to really be determined by the water department. And I think as the town council currently does, we rely heavily on the water department to give us that professional and expert feedback on whether or not there needs to be some type of rationing of water. And that would include. Who's back?
I'm back, yeah. My question is, would it be a good idea to transition from septic tanks to a sewage system in North Kingston?
Yeah, that's actually an interesting question, and I would say no. Here's why. Actually, the septic system is, if you actually look at the economics of it for the homeowner, it's actually a little less expensive over time. Certainly installing a new system can be expensive for one time, but it can be good for 30, 40, 50 years. When you spread that out over time, it's actually less than sewage feed payments. So I live on the border of Narragansett in the south end of town. People in Narragansett pay about $2,500, $3,000 a year for sewer. I just put a new septic system in 5 years ago. It cost $16,000. I can make that $16,000 back by not paying that $3,000 pretty quickly. And then I start saving money out of that. So treating waste right on site is very efficient. You don't have to ship it somewhere else. Right? You treat it right there at the source. So I think putting in sewers is going to be really cost prohibitive. You're going to have to assess them more. You might not be able to afford that assessment. But if you're going to put sewers on the street, you have to buy in, and it's going to cost you $20,000. I don't have $20,000. That's too bad. I'm going to put a lien on your house. You're going to sell it. So I wouldn't be in favor of forcing sewers. The town referendum came, people really wanted it, wanted to spend the billions of dollars that they paid. Fine. You know, I don't see that. Thank you.
So I must say I was pretty astounded when we moved here in 2004, and there were still people who had cesspools, and I didn't realize that people still have those in the United States. And I grew up in a small town in Pennsylvania, and I can remember when they put sewers in on our street, and my dad employing somebody with a backhoe and digging, that sort of thing. But as Mr. Singer said, it is this sort of thing. It is incredibly expensive to tie into sewers. If we had done that in the 1970s or 80s, when the Navy was pulling out an offering to turn over the sewer system to the town, that would have been great foresight. Now it becomes this incredible cost to our taxpayers. We are doing it in little bits as we slowly go down through Post Road, we go through some of the businesses, and that may be the way we go into the future, doing small bits at a time, because to change the whole town overnight would cost millions of dollars, and there are people who would not be able to afford it.
Unfortunately, our scheduled time will elapse shortly, and we have no more time for questions. Keeping with our speaking order, candidates will be allowed up to 1 minute for closing remarks.
Garrett. I'm a candidate for town council. I currently serve on the zoning board of review. So people come, residents come, they ask for relief from the zoning ordinances, and we listen to their requests. Town government has to serve the town residents. We've got to do it fairly, we've got to do it evenly. They have to do it efficiently. What does that mean? When you go to town hall, when your parents go, your guardians go to town hall, they get professional service. They get polite and respectful service. That's important. Same thing, the police respond to a call. Do they treat people with dignity and respect? Fire department, rescue. All the town services work for you. The town council works for you. And when a town doesn't provide that kind of respect, dignity, and service that you pay for, that you deserve, that's a problem. You've got to continue to provide excellent service. Why? So that people want to come and live here. So that we can better the schools, we can better the community, make it a better place to live for you. That's the goal. Thank you very much.
Hello, as I said, my name is Kim Page, the daughter of Kimberly Ann Page. I want to make sure that we have North Kingstown be a town where everybody wants to be here and we work for our citizens. One of my other roles in life is that I am president of the board of directors of the North Kingstown Food Pantry. I do see not only the need of people who are wealthy in town, but I see people who have a need from the poorest people in town. We make sure at the food pantry we provide people with a week's worth of groceries for your family side, and then every Thursday we offer fresh produce to folks. So I see not only the folks who are in businesses and who are being very successful in town, but I also see the poorest people in town. We need to make sure that we reach out to all of our citizens here in North Kingstown. And so that's what I plan to do if I'm elected to the council again, is to serve not only people in businesses, but the poorest people, and to make sure that they have services and that we can really be a town that comes together, works together for our schools and our employees and the people who live here. So I thank you very much for this opportunity.
On behalf of the students and teachers at North Kingstown High School, thank you for your participation and support of our candidates day.